Sylvester Stallone, what a show, Michael, in his latest Cobra, in which he plays a fearless cop gunning for serial killers on the loose. SpaceCamp is a fantasy adventure about teenagers accidentally launched into orbit aboard the space shuttle. Crimewave is a spoof of crime thriller about a nerdy guy who was framed for murder and who keeps coming in second best in his fights. And we'll look at what's doing on pay TV and what's new in the store for videocassette rentals. But first, Michael is up taking a bead on Sylvester Stallone's latest with Michael's review of Cobra. Michael, slide is all yours.
Taking a bead, you make it sound like I'm gunning for him. I have an open mind about this movie, especially because Cobra dramatizes some typical, normal events in carefree, fun-filled Southern California, my home. Namely, there's a serial killer on the loose, naturally, and he's just claimed his 16th victim. Now, the police brass are puzzled, of course, but they refuse to use their most unconventional and effective officer, Lieutenant Marion Cobretti, better known by his endearing nickname, Cobra.
Question is the same weapon.
90% sure it's the identical weapons.
That brings the count to 16, and still shows no distinct pattern.
Well, maybe there's more than one killer.
Hey, look, this is not your specialty, okay? This is pure investigative police work, not jumping through a window. I think what we need is to beef up the task force.
What we need is some interagency cooperation. Every department wants to be the damn hero in this case.
Captain, look, I don't want to be a hero. I just want to get involved, all right?
If I may say something, Captain, if we let Cobretti use his tactics, we're asking for a lot of trouble.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that he works on the zombie squad and he should stay there.
You tell me where I should stay now?
Hey, it's nothing personal. We're just different kinds of cops, that's all.
Cobra, like Monty says, you're on the zombie squad. You're a specialist that does a job nobody wants, all right? But we can't go shaking down people who have internal affairs jumping down our throats.
Yeah, well, then we lost.
Lost? What do you mean lost?
Because as long as we have to play by these rules and the killer doesn't, we're going to lose.
What do you want to do?
There's nothing we can do except wait
What?
for it to happen again.
Bam, bam! Now, Cobra, of course, is eventually assigned to the case just in time to protect a fashion model who's being threatened by the killer or killers because she's witnessed one of their dastardly crimes. Now, that high fashion model is played by Brigitte Nielsen, who is the real-life Mrs. Stallone, and I must admit that the romantic chemistry between them looks fairly convincing. Now, in the course of the movie, these two lovebirds successfully fight off literally hundreds of blood-crazed killers until at last, Stallone meets the head sicko in a climactic confrontation in a fiery foundry.
Oh, you pig! Open your eyes, pig! I want them! You want to go to hell? Huh? Huh, pig? You want to go to hell with me? Doesn't matter, does it? We are the hunters. We kill the weak, so the strong survive. You can't stop the new world. Your filthy society will never get rid of people like us. It's breeding them. We are the future. No. Your history. You won't do it, pig. You won't shoot. Murder is against the law. You have to take me in. If you can. Even I have rights. Don't I? Pig. Take me in. They'll say I'm insane. Won't they? The court is civilized, isn't it? Pig.
But I'm not. This is where the law stops. And I start.
Now, this entire movie is just full of that same sort of sparkling and witty dialogue, which Stallone, as the screenwriter, scripted for himself. But the real stars here aren't people at all. They're super sophisticated guns and knives of every description, as Cobra displays more firepower than a good-sized third-world country. There's no plot to speak of, just a series of furiously paced and reasonably well-staged action sequences, one after another. The director is George Cosmatos, the same man who directed Rambo, and who's known to his fans as George Comatose for his sense-numbing violence. Now, if you're just aching for the chance to watch some horrendously hateful criminals get what they deserve in the most sadistic way possible, then Cobra will give you what you want. Otherwise, you might as well stay home.
Or go to another country as far away from any theater where they're showing Cobra, Michael. I really hated this picture, a lot more than you did, I suspect. There's no motivation here. You don't understand what it is that makes him different. What brought him to work on that zombie squad? That's just taken as a given. He's there because he's Stallone, not because he's Marion Cobretti and something interesting or terrible happened to him.
I think you really put your finger on it. The big problem is a lack of characterization. What Stallone does as a screenwriter and as an actor is he relies upon his screen presence, which is compelling and is fascinating, and he relies upon little gimmicks like he takes a piece of cold pizza out of his refrigerator and cuts it with a scissors. That's not a substitute for characterization. It doesn't tell you anything about this person.
It's also so uninterestingly done. He's just a killing machine. He takes on 200 motorcycle thugs. Wouldn't 5 have been more believable? And it's as if his gun is loaded with real bullets, their guns are loaded with blanks. There's no sense of danger. Same thing happened in Rambo.
Yeah, and Dirty Harry, for instance, has a sense of reality, a sense of danger. And it's interesting, Stallone's not afraid of anything in his movies. He's not afraid of 7-feet-tall Russian boxers, but he is afraid of movie critics. He wouldn't even allow an advanced screening of this film.
And what an actress Mrs. Stallone is, huh?
Promising.
Great future in films besides this. Anyway, our next movie is SpaceCamp. It's an adventure about some teenagers who undergo simulated astronaut training at a NASA space camp. Part of the program involves a visit to the real shuttle, and while examining the flight deck, they're somehow incredibly accidentally launched into a real orbit, with only their astronaut teacher, played by Kate Capshaw, aboard.
Control, this is Atlantis. Do you read? Over.
Atlantis, we're losing her.
This bird wasn't flight ready, Zach. They only have short-range radio.
Kevin! We have Miko! Over ET set on my mark! 3, 2, 1! Do you know where it is?
Think so? Got it.
You got their own sperm. They're still climbing. Come on.
Tracking reads Atlantis at 180 by 33. They're in orbit.
I didn't touch a thing, Andy. Honest.
I know, Rudy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've achieved orbit. You okay? I think so.
Floating.
Just relax and allow yourself to flow with it. Oh, I can lose the lift off, but this is incredible.
Wow. This is unreal.
I feel like I'm flying.
In space, Kevin. I can't believe it.
It's just like a dream.
Now, after the young and inexperienced crew completes the first part of their unexpected spaceflight, they realize that the shuttle doesn't have enough oxygen aboard to get them back to Earth. After all, their launching was accidental. But their teacher knows that extra oxygen tanks are conveniently stored on a nearby space station. Venturing out to try to retrieve it, she realizes she'll need the help of the youngest and the smallest crew member to reach those tanks.
It's no good. I just can't reach it. Well, she has to. Tell her she has to get him.
You can't, all right?
Make her. She just isn't small enough. Lion. You can't go out there.
It's a good idea, guys.
I am ready.
Is this the only stuff you could find?
It's the best I could do. It's the only one down there. Oh, Fish, give me your belt. Oh, excellent idea.
What are you going to do with the belt?
We are going to make this suit as small as Max so he can fit through this.
Right, Maxwell. Only 30 minutes left. Sorry, Max. Hang in there.
It's me! I'm at a rescue!
SpaceCamp completed shooting last year, long before the shuttle tragedy. And watching the movie, I often thought, of course, of that awful day we shared last January. But that aside, I simply let the movie entertain me, and after a rocky start with uninteresting dialogue and routine characters, the rocket lifts off and pulls the movie aloft with it. Sure, the premise for the accidental launching is flimsy, but if you buy it, you're in for an hour or so of terrific adventure. The special effects are very convincing. You'll feel you're aboard that shuttle, and as the orbiting spacecraft and its wide-eyed crew try to effect a safe landing, you'll feel the suspense and the thrills. SpaceCamp is sure to please young audiences in particular, and overall, it makes for a good fantasy adventure.
Jeffrey, I agree with everything you said about the movie, but the premise is so flimsy, so ridiculous that I couldn't buy it. I mean, this movie asks you to believe that NASA would have 5 teenage campers sitting on board the shuttle when they're testing out their engines, and then that the engines actually fire by accident. It's just too much.
Okay, Michael, there's a lot to buy here, but I think my son, who's 4 1/2, will come after the first 20 minutes, as I said, which is totally missable, and he'll feel the thrill of this picture. The special effects are wonderfully done. There's an innocence here that I think is adorable.
I would imagine that preschoolers, and maybe preschoolers only, could enjoy it. But the problem is that for any children above the age of 5, if you want to see a science fiction movie that's good for kids, go see Short Circuit. It's a lot more likable movie than this.
Michael, that has nothing to do with reality. This, at least, is pretty close to what goes on. Not the having the kids in the rocket ship, but the sense of the danger because of what happened last January. I'll grant you, there is a sense of adventure here. This is the kind of teenage movie I like.
It's one of those high-concept movies where it's, let's put 5 typical teenagers, including a valley girl in outer space, and then they try to make it happen according to that basic idea.
Score. It's a beautifully done little
The John
film.
Williams score is beautiful. Buy the score album, miss the movie.
Cynic, fancy nightclub, where he tries to rescue her.
I'm not that kind of girl.
Well, with a little practice, you can learn to be. Oh, now, wait a minute, Cupcake. Nice tie. Ooh, $76. Okay, here's 40. We'll pretend that I had the appetizer. Call me a support. I'd call you a heel. So I'm a heel. So what of it? Who are you? Maybe I'm just a guy who hates heels. Maybe I'm a heel who hates guys who hate heels. Oh, yeah? Well, maybe I'm a guy who...
Oh, yeah? Maybe I'm the kind of a guy who hates bad movies. Later, how did I do, Michael? Our hero has taken his dream girl to her apartment, but she's kidnapped by a sleazy rat exterminator who's been using his shock device to kill people. He and his partner are the real killers. And in this scene, our hero tries to rescue her again and rehabilitate one of the killers as well.
Give him a little taste of the juice.
How you want it? Medium? Well done. Broke my shacker.
Mister, you've done some bad things, and I'm gonna deal out some swift justice. This one's for bothering my girl. This one's for giving me this. This one's for ruining my date. And here's one for all the folks everywhere.
Oh, please, Sam. I give up. Please don't hit me again with that baseball bat. I realize what I did was wrong, and, well, I'm sorry.
Sometimes sorry isn't good enough.
From now on, I'll be good. I swear it's the truth. Just one more chance. Oh, please. Friend?
Come on, Arthur, you weasel!
Pal?
All right. Just this once. Put her there, buddy.
Too bad it wasn't the screenwriter he was hitting with that bat. Crimewave might have been an uproarious send-up of all those somber, dark 40s mystery films known as film noir movies. But the exaggerated action and the amateurish performances by the hammy actors and the aimless direction of the comedy quickly get the upper hand here. As if trying frantically to disguise its emptiness, the movie tries to cram as many twists and plot turns as possible onto the screen. All that accomplishes is to confuse and ultimately bore the viewer. Now, making a satire of old-time crime movies might have been a good premise for comedy. Hasn't always worked, but sometimes it has. But the only crime we see here in Crimewave is the one perpetrated on the audience.
Oh, I thought the biggest crime in this crime wave was mugging, and not mugging by robbers, but mugging by these actors who are always making faces at the screen and at one another.
Yeah.
The whole thing has the feeling of an inside joke, as if the movie makers probably had fun doing this, but we're not having fun watching it. Actually, one of the producers plays the heel in that clip there.
And another one, Ed Pressman, is the person who was murdered in the movie, has a great future as a producer. Not only that, Michael, it's so obvious that it's trying desperately to be a cult film with its approach to humor and the inside jokes, which you mentioned. You can't try to be a cult film. You've got to do a film, and it'll eventually become one.
The only cult it will appeal to is people who find the Three Stooges too sophisticated.
Absolutely.
Moving on from Crimewave to the newest wave of cassette releases to hit the video stores, with a mix of some mediocre and some very good motion pictures. Remo Williams was only a so-so thriller, with Fred Ward as a super-secret agent who's trained by a mysterious martial arts master played by Joel Grey.
Hold it! I don't want to kill you, but I will if I have to.
That Was Then, This Is Now was an intriguing, touching film about troubled teens, with a fine screenplay and a first-rate starring performance, both by Emilio Estevez.
Good.
How'd you get that? He gave a guy 520s.
Smooth Talk is one of the finest movies about adolescence in recent years, with Laura Dern, daughter of Bruce Dern, as a rebellious 15-year-old who gets into trouble with a sleazy seducer played by Treat Williams.
I want to introduce myself. I'm Arnold Friend, and that's my real name, and that's what I want to be to you. A friend.
Jagged Edge is a somewhat stagey courtroom drama with Glenn Close as a no-nonsense defense attorney. Its best elements are an ingenious script and a fine performance by Jeff Bridges as the murder suspect.
I don't want to see any pictures of you in the paper. I want you to look as though your life has been shattered.
My life has been shattered.
This month on cable TV, there is the usual gaggle of movies to see and some to avoid at all costs. But happily, one of the films they're showing is Fletch. It's the best performance by Chevy Chase in a movie so far, portraying an investigative reporter with all the outrageous lines you'd expect from Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Can I borrow your towel for a sec? My car just hit a water buffalo.
Comfort and Joy is an offbeat Scottish movie about a disc jockey in the middle of a battle between warring ice cream companies. It's as interesting as its oddball premise, and it's an undiscovered delight.
Give us an autograph, Dick.
I'm sorry, I don't have a pen on me. I'm sorry.
Come on to hell, let's have it here. Give us a dedication, at least that for my mother.
Blood Simple is strictly for adult audiences. It's a chilling tale about murder and adultery, which never lets up on its tension.
You gotta be smart.
Right.
Yeah, but you never point a gun at anyone unless you mean to shoot him. If you shoot him, you better make sure he's dead. Because if he ain't dead, he's gonna get up and try and kill you.
A View to a Kill is a tiresome Roger Moore James Bond thriller, as convoluted as its meaningless title.
Hold the parachute. Is he English,
I didn't hate that one as much as you did, Jeffrey. But now to summarize our votes on the films this week. We agreed that Cobra features some well-staged action scenes and a few memorable lines from Sly Stallone, but that's hardly worth the price of admission. But we split on SpaceCamp. Jeffrey liked the convincing special effects and the sense of adventure and wonder, but I thought it was so silly and implausible that it would insult the intelligence of anyone over the age of 5. But we both liked Raw Deal, the stylish and satisfying thriller starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. So far, it's the movie to see for action fans this summer. And we urge you to wave goodbye to Crimewave, a painfully unfunny and amateurish black comedy.